For some of us, making money and playing guitar comes together in the form of YouTube song covers, where you learn a song, you maybe strip it back, you record a video, and you upload it to YouTube and try to monetize that. Well, today I talked to Nicole Milik, a singer-songwriter who does exactly that. And in this video, she explains to us how she makes money playing guitar. Let's go to the chat and meet Nicole. Hey, Nicole!
Hello, everybody.
It's so cool that you joined me today. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Good. How is it in Germany today?
The weather is quite miserable, actually. It's pretty dark in this room. I hope the lighting is okay.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The weather is a bit weird. But apart from that, everything's fine. As fine as it can be in these days.
Oh, bringing the mood right down at the beginning.
I'm sorry. That's just how my brain works.
Has that affected the kind of songs you've written recently?
Probably, yes. Yeah, I've wrote a lot about patience. I've got a song that's called Patience. I wrote that.
Can I hear it now? Can I hear it now? Like right now?
Right now?
Oh, no, it's okay. I'll wait. I'm so sorry.
I knew that this was going to happen, so that's fine with me.
So, let's go straight to your videos and your stars. You make videos and you make music, most importantly. Some of those are music. Some of those are videos, sorry. Some of those are music. There are times when it hasn't been so musical. What is it you do? How do you define you as a musician or as an entrepreneur, I guess?
Ooh, that's a cool word.
I go.
Well, I started a YouTube channel 11 years ago. And I play the guitar and I sing. I do acoustic covers and I write original music and I sing and play the guitar. And that's what I've been doing for a very long time.
Yeah, so 11 years. So
11 years.
That means you're at least like 17.
At least.
I'd say. But yeah, I would still class you as a very young musician in a totally positive way. And I think, I don't know where I'm going with that. That makes no weight on my conversation whatsoever. What I was going to say is I was trying to work out how long you've been doing it. And how long have you been doing it and not much else, as a sort of financial support?
For 2 years now. I studied before that. So I was done with school. I started to study, went to university for a couple of years. And now, like, properly living from it. I've been doing it for 2 years.
How does it feel?
Yeah. Great. That's what I always wanted to do, and I never really thought that I'd be able to do it. So it's very exciting. It's kind of stressful sometimes, but it's great. I wouldn't want to have it any other way.
Brilliant. Well, with the music and being a musician, what were you doing before you could fully support yourself with music? Did you have side jobs? You were at school, you said?
Yeah, when I was at university, I got like money from the government, I think you call it. I don't know.
Sounds good.
As like a financial support. And then I was always doing music, like always making music as long as I can remember. I never had like a proper job, as some people would call it. So I never worked in any other field. I've always been working in the music field. So ever since I started my YouTube channel when I was 13 or almost 14, and from that point on, I just always kind of had little gigs here and there, or did little shows or little somethings. So yeah, never worked in a proper job as you call it.
Yeah, I've had a few proper jobs, but it's okay. I've had many improper jobs as well. So yeah, I think it balances. I think. Yeah,
it's funny how nowadays I still kind of don't call it a proper job, although it is a proper job and it takes up a lot of time and I do work a lot. But it's still, when you do something that you loved and that started off as a hobby, you never really feel like it's a job in a way. But then again, it's really difficult to explain because basically you're working all day, but it doesn't really feel like it, which makes it also very difficult sometimes because you never really feel like you're doing enough. At least me, I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, wow, have I really worked enough today? Because you do what you love. And yeah,
So what's an average day for you? When you feel like you've done enough, what does that mean for you?
That's a good question. I don't know. Usually, if I filmed a video, or if I've written a song, or if I went live and did like a live concert, or did something that has to do with music that eventually is gonna make me get like a response from it, like make me get a response in some sort of way. Because if I'm just sitting in my room and I'm writing a song, that's a lot of fun, but it just takes some time until you actually get like any kind of reward. If it's just, you know, you play it at a show and people are clapping, or if you get a comment saying, oh, that's a great song, or whatever it is, that's when I kind of feel, okay, like I've worked today. Which is that weird? I don't know. Is that weird? Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly. Firstly, I know exactly what you mean, because that's how I feel. But I thought that was weird.
Okay.
So I feel the same way.
I don't know. Maybe that's just how artists or self-employed people feel, especially in this artist field. Because normally, say you've got a 9-to-5 job and you go to work and you come back home, and that's that. Like, you've done your job for a couple of hours and you get paid for that. And as a musician, you wake up in the morning and you work and work and work, and you feel like you're constantly working on something. And then even at night, you check your social media and you post something, and that's work too. What other people call like, oh, I'm going on a little break from work and I'm doing social media. That's work for us. And you never really stop working. But then again, you don't know if and when someone's going to ever pay you for the work that you're doing. So that's the fun life of an artist.
It's very reassuring to hear you saying that, because I do feel very similar, in the sense that I'm also very, obviously, deeply involved with social media and money coming from those things. And it's not a regular income. It's not a predictable income sometimes. And you can have good months and bad months. And sometimes you have really good months and sometimes a really bad 6 months. You know,
Yeah,
it can go that way.
that's true.
But I think the thing that was interesting, what you said, is you don't really switch off, because the way I feel about it is I stupidly compare myself to other people doing similar things to what I do.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking, if I see someone else post a video or something, I'm like, I'm not posting a video in the last 10 minutes. Even though it's taken hours and hours of work to create that video or piece of music. So I can tell that you do the same thing, and we've spoken about it before, but one should never compare oneself to another person doing the same. But it's unavoidable for me.
Yeah.
But it is a motivator also.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's pretty easy to get lost in comparing yourself to other artists and what they're doing. And I think that's not a good thing to do, especially because you never know. Like, I like to compare myself to people that have like a really big team around them, that have PR guys, that have like people that shoot their videos, people that edit their videos, people that record their songs, people that do all the work, even like have a social media team. And I'm sitting there on my floor here in my living room thinking like I can't even achieve the same thing that all these people are doing on my own. That's never going to work ever. And that's very difficult sometimes to remember that, and to be like, yeah, I'm going my own path and that person is going his or her path, and everything's gonna be okay. I think that's very, very important to remind yourself of that, but it's definitely difficult.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous and stupid is what it is. I compare myself to people, to famous artists who are in the top 5 most famous artists in the world. And there's me again, sat in my little room. And it's ridiculous, but I guess it's natural. And if we're using that kind of model, there are probably people watching this looking, and I don't want to be detrimental or negative, but people who are below us or behind us on their path and journey, who are looking at people such as yourself and thinking, I could never do what Nicole does, and then it's a constantly moving flow.
Absolutely.
So it's your fault is what I'm saying. You're to blame.
I know. It always is.
But let's talk about the money again. So money.
Money. Okay.
What do you do that enables you to eat? So you write songs, you post YouTube videos, but how do you monetize that?
Yeah.
What makes you different to someone who isn't getting paid from that?
Oh, that's a good question. Man, you've got so many good questions.
Boom.
I don't really know. Like, boo. I think what I've learned to do is to have many little sources of incomes and not just one big, because especially right now, to just get back to the topic again, like there are 0 events, nothing, like just there's no way of earning money on a stage, at least for me. So I'm very happy about that I never really focused on just playing live shows or just playing on events. Although I must say that last year, for example, I made most of the money that I made from playing at events. So that's fun. But like I've got, for example, my YouTube income that I make from making videos. And I know that a lot of people think that you make millions and millions of dollars from making YouTube videos, which might be the case if you're making like millions of views every single day, which I don't. And I also make cover versions. So most of my videos I just get partially paid for. So yeah, I've got my YouTube income, I've got my Patreon, which I'm very, very thankful for, which also isn't like thousands of euros, but it's still, you know, that little source of income that just adds up to the big money, which isn't big, but makes me pay my rent. And then obviously I've written songs in the past for other people, which I got paid for, or I played at events, and you know, I don't actually really know where that money comes from sometimes, but it's good to have like these little sources of income here and there, and like with time you kind of learn to live with what you've got. So sometimes, as you said, you will have months that you're like, wow, I've made a lot of money this month, and then you have 6 months where you just basically make no money at all, and you got to learn to live with more money, and you've got to live with less money, and just make the right investments, and sometimes be like, okay, I've managed to pay my rent and my bills, and that's cool, I've got money for my food, and then that's that for this month. And I think that's definitely something you gotta learn, but that's something that you will learn in time.
So budgeting.
Yes, I think that's very important to learn how to budget. Yeah.
And was that taught to you by, say, your parents or something, or did you grow up like that, or was it something you had to learn like the hard way?
No, I think that I actually grew up learning how to, I don't know, handle money in the right way. I don't know. So I've never been the one to spend money on anything. I'm quite an overthinker, so especially when I buy something that is like a big investment for me, I think about it for months and months and months until I actually buy it. So I think that I'm naturally quite a, let's say, scared human being. and I'm also quite scared to like spend a lot of money at once. I'm just not that type of person. So I'm quite good at budgeting my money. That's it, quite naturally.
I have an example where I can back Nicole's story up there, and that is the fact that she owned the same guitar, the same Taylor guitar, for many, many, many years, and you've only recently bought, I want to say, a second guitar, or you have a small collection, but you used the same instrument for many, many, many years. How many years did you just have that Taylor, the small one?
10 years.
I wanted to say 10
years.
but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, 10 years. I had a guitar before that, and I did buy a couple of guitars here and there, but never Taylor guitars, and I just never loved any guitar as much as this Taylor guitar, and that was the guitar that I was just using all the time. And then, yeah, I don't know, I'm definitely someone who gets use out of things that I own, because that's just how I was raised to be. But if you're not, then that's fine too. But yeah, I like to make sure, like, I got this laptop that is right here in front of me 2 years ago, and that was a very big investment for me at that time, because I just went out of uni and I was like, okay, I want to start making money with music, so I gotta get like the equipment. And I was so scared to spend so much money on that, but that is basically what keeps me going, and that is like a very important part of my equipment that I use every single day. And I think it's very important to just really think about, what do you really need, what is going to help you. You need a camera. Maybe you don't need the most expensive camera that is out there, but you need a good one, and you need one that will last you a couple of years, because you don't want to buy a new camera every single month. And you need a microphone. Again, you don't need the most expensive one, but you want to get one that will make what you do sound quite nicely. And then you know, you need all of those things, and I'm someone to spend a little bit more money on that, so it's gonna last me a little bit longer, but I also want to think about it a lot before I do it.
So when I was talking to you when we first met, I guess, I was really surprised by the gear you actually use to record your cover videos. Are you still using that Shure microphone?
Yep, it's right in front of me here. It's a microphone that I use for everything I do. Yeah, still use it. So
you're running a very successful YouTube channel with how many subscribers currently?
165, I think. I don't even know. 160. Let me check. Oh no, I can't check. I'm recording the audio. Don't want to mess that up. I don't even know. 160 something.
Let's say over 160, shall we? Mm-hmm. And you're recording on a microphone that cost how much?
I think €200 or something.
Mm-hmm. So how much did your one camera cost? Because you only ever use one camera, right?
Yeah, I do have a couple of cameras that me and my boyfriend kind of share, but the camera that I use for everything I do is the Canon G7X Mark II, and that's what I've been using for the past couple of years, and I love it very much.
And then you mix your songs, or do you know, how are you? What's your post processing like? So you've got this let me say it, a rather cheap microphone.
Yes.
A rather affordable camera. Mm-hmm. And then what do you do with that once you've recorded it?
It depends. Sometimes, like most of the times, I do a live recording. So it's just that one microphone that records my voice and my guitar. So there isn't much mixing to do, because the microphone mixes it for me. That's what I like to think. And so it's just syncing up the audio with the video. And sometimes I record beforehand if I want to add harmonies, or if I want to record more guitars, or if I want to make it sound a little bit bigger than just the guitar and my voice. And then I mix, but I'm not very good at it. And I never really, for me, like, you're a very guitar geeky person that loves all the technical things that comes with guitars.
I don't love it. I do love it. I love it.
And I'm not like that. Like, I'm very much into guitars, like acoustic guitars. Like, not so much electric guitars. I'm sorry to all the electric guitar lovers, but I love acoustic guitars. And when I say I love them, I really love them. Especially Taylor. This is not sponsored, but look at that beautiful guitar.
I've got one over there, look.
Yeah, see? And they're just so beautiful, and I get very passionate about my guitars. I love them very much. But that's that. I love making music, and I don't love the technical part about making music. So I mix my songs, to just get back to the original question. I mix my songs, but I'm not very good at it, and I never really took the time to learn how to properly mix music, because I'd rather write a song.
Can I replace, when you said I'm not very good at it a few times, like 10 times, I would suggest we replace that with, you don't need to be good at it, because you are successful in you're being successful. There's no such thing where you're successful and you stop. You know, you're continually bringing in success, and that's the way you're doing it. So why change it, you know?
Yeah, I think that's also something that I've struggled in the last couple of years, because when I started YouTube, there wasn't much on YouTube. So it was a whole different world, and it changed a lot. And especially like all the people that started doing YouTube with me and acoustic covers or acoustic music, they developed into full-on professional music videos with full-on produced, like fully produced songs. And I was like, oh, you know, again, comparing myself to them, being like, do I need to do that too? Like, I never really felt like I wanted to do it, but I did think about it a couple of times, being like, okay, is this how YouTube works now? Is this what people want to see on YouTube? And I never changed my content. And I think that nowadays people love that about my channel, that they can get back to my channel and be like, okay, this is like a stripped down version of just a guitar and just a voice. So I think that people get back to my channel because they want to see stripped down versions of songs that are full on produced. Like, I do a lot of genres on my channel. I recently covered Highway to Hell just on a acoustic guitar with my voice, and I love doing that, and that's what I've been doing for so many years, taking Lady Gaga songs that are very electric and very weird sounding and stripping them down to just a guitar and a voice. And that is something I really, really, really enjoy doing. And I think people know when you enjoy doing something and when you only do it because you feel like that's what people want to see.
I just didn't want to say, yeah, you know, I didn't want to just immediately agree with you, because I know I do that sort of thing a lot, but I absolutely do agree with you, and I'm trying not to talk. I think your channel is almost a remedy for those overproduced things. There's nothing wrong with the not overproduced, well-produced videos that you see from artists.
Absolutely.
And one of the attractions about you and your channel is that it is so authentic and real and accessible. And also, I don't know how it is with your fans, your viewers, but I think seeing you do that must inspire other musicians or potential musicians as well. Do you get much contact?
Yes, I'd say every day I get at least one, if not more than one, messages saying, oh, could you do a tutorial for this song? Could you give me the chords? Do you have any taps or notes, or do you have anything so I can learn how to play it? And I'm not a very good teacher, so I never really thought about doing guitar tutorials, because like, I like to inspire people to learn how to play the guitar, but I'm not the one to teach you how to play the guitar. Although I must say that lots of people have written me in the past that they watch my videos to learn how to play the guitar. So they always want to see my fretboard so they can see what chords I'm playing. And that's lovely. I love that, because that's how I've learned to play the guitar too. Like, my dad taught me like the basics, and then I went to music school, but I used to just watch videos.
Whoa. My dad taught me, and then I went to music school, and then kind of just threw that one in there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Continue.
You make me look really red. Your red background just makes me look like I'm
it's good. It's just part of it.
It's not that I'm embarrassed all the time and I'm just a red face. It's Sandy's background that makes me look super red. Because, you know what? There's a studio light up there, but it's not switched on because I hate artificial lighting. So you got to deal with the weather that we've got in Germany today, and Andy's red background that makes me look like a tomato.
I've got 4 lights on right now. I don't know where we were in the conversation, but I'm about to hit 40. So I need all the lights and all the correct things I can muster.
To make your hair look great, right?
Yeah, I mean that's my main attraction for this channel. That's
why I subscribe to your channel, to be quite honest, because I don't care about the guitar tech stuff. Just care about curls.
How are the curls doing? I had it cut recently, just as we're on the subject, you know.
Yeah, it looks great.
Let me talk to you about something that is a dangerous ground for me.
Okay.
Because you're very obviously a lady of the female kind.
Yeah.
And I would say that the YouTube and guitar industry is mainly dominated by males.
Yep.
How does that affect you? You know, what's your thoughts on that?
I must say that I get a lot of messages from young girls who say that they started to play the guitar because of my videos, and that makes me very happy because I do believe that girls can play guitar too. Let me just put that out there. To be honest, I know that there are lots of like female artists that get weird comments from guys trying to tell them how to make it properly and how to play the guitar and how to do all of that stuff. I must say I've got very nice viewers apparently, because I don't really get that at all. Although I do remember when I was younger, I got a comment from a German singer who's now very popular in Germany. I'm not gonna drop his name, but he wrote me a comment back then saying, "You're a good guitar player for a girl." And I will never, ever forget that, because, like, that is just stupid to me. Like, yeah, it didn't break my heart, it just made me stronger, because I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to show you how girls can play the guitar too. So I'm very happy that I don't get these kind of comments, because I wouldn't call myself a feminist, but I'm very passionate about that women are great. So
me too. I love them.
Good for you. And so if I would get these kind of comments every day, I'd be so mad at the world. So I'm very happy that I don't get it, but I know it exists. And let me tell you that if you're a guy who thinks that girls can't do it, you're very wrong.
Girls are people too.
Right.
And so are other people. People are people. Is there, again, this is dangerous ground, you know, being in 2020, but I'm going to go there.
Okay, go there.
What would you say the advantages of being a female lady?
Are there any? I don't know. At least not for me, because I'm not the person to show a lot of décolletage, as you call it. And I know that there are a lot of singers out there who just like to show a little bit of skin in their YouTube videos because they know that that's sex sells, as you say, right? So I'm not that kind of girl. You won't get that on my channel. I'm very sorry, and you won't get that in my day-to-day life because I'm just not like that. But I know that some women use their looks to sell their music, and I'm not a fan of it, but again, you do you, but that's just not something I do, so I don't really know if there are any advantages for me, but that's definitely something that people work with, women especially, I'd say. Okay,
I'm going to jump off that subject as quickly as I can. I just wanted to go there because I hadn't, you know, people see an attractive female playing guitar. There is an element of business to that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted you to have your chance to tell people that that is the kind of player and musician you are.
Yeah.
Because that's how I know you, but people watching this video, I'm looking at the wrong camera, people watching this video may not know that about Nicole. Yeah, cool. Well,
yeah.
I've dug that hole so deep I don't know how to go any further. Let's go back to the YouTube thing and the daily life, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of schedule do you have for? Because there's the artistic. Sorry, I'm answering my own question here, but there's the artistic side where you say, "Oh, I feel like writing a song today," or "There's a little bit of inspiration." But what about when it's now a job for you and you have to do it?
Yeah.
How's that for you?
Yeah, that's also something that I think I had to learn to kind of, you know, see it as my job now. And it's also very difficult because I believe that so many people are scared to make music as a living because they are scared to lose their passion for it. That's why I, for example, didn't study music, because I knew that university gets stressful and I didn't want to music be stressful for me. So I always wanted to have that, oh, I'm stressed from university, I want to play the guitar and not be like, I hate music, it just stresses me out. I've never wanted to feel that. So now it's my job, and sometimes you hate your job. No matter how much you love it, you also sometimes are like, I don't want to film that YouTube video today. I just don't feel like it. But, you know, there are people waiting for it, or you have a regular schedule that, you know, yeah. What was the question again? What does my schedule look like?
I think you've already answered it in whatever that was.
I'm sorry, I don't do these kind of interviews very often, so sometimes I get lost. I'm an artist, I get lost in my own thoughts. That's what we make a living from.
I try and tell that to my accountants all the time. Andy, why does this piece of paper not look like... I don't know. We don't know. I'm not good at that. If I was good at that stuff, then I'd be doing that stuff, you know?
Yep. No, but what was the question again?
It was some terrible thing about motivation and, you know, when you don't want to write a song or you don't want to play guitar, but you have to.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. And sometimes that's difficult, but you know that you, like, sometimes it just sounds like I'm complaining when I say, oh, I really don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But as I said before, I wouldn't want to have it any other way, because I know all the advantages that come with making music, and being an artist and self-employed human being. But it's difficult sometimes, just as it is to, you know, even if you have like a 9-to-5 job, sometimes it's difficult to get up in the morning. And with being an artist, if you don't have like any other responsibilities of like a family or something, sometimes you don't feel like getting up in the morning, and then you don't get up in the morning. But, you know, sometimes you work in the evening then, or at night, you know, whenever creativity hits you, I think. But, sorry, I'm talking a lot.
That's why we're here.
I think that it's also very important to have some sort of a schedule. So I've learned to set an alarm in the morning and try to get up and get started, because you can get lost pretty easily in that, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna let creativity decide when I'm gonna work. Like, that's not how it works in the long term.
You can kind of ride that for a while, can't you?
Yeah.
But then suddenly when it does become a responsibility and you have to make money, you have to make a living, you have to eat, then suddenly it's a very, very different story. And yeah. I'm actually a very naturally lazy person. I as soon as my family leave, don't tell anyone. But I think I could go and watch TV now. No one would know. No one would know.
Yeah.
And I know the sound of the engine of the car. You know, oh, quick, run back downstairs, do some stuff. But yeah, you have to have that that self-control and that self-discipline.
Yeah.
Which I'm personally not very good at. So I had to learn it. And I have to constantly force myself to do things, even though I know that thing is going to be great. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how my brain works. I need a deadline for stuff, and then I start like 2 hours before the deadline. That's when I'm the most productive. That's how I survived university. Like, I wrote my bachelor thesis in 3 days because I had so much time for it, and I was like, just nah. And then 3 days beforehand, I was like, okay, now I really got to start and I really got to do this. And that's how I sometimes do it with, like, for example, today I got to upload a YouTube video that I haven't filmed yet. And I'll have to do it today. And, you know, so sometimes I'm running behind my schedule, and that's okay. And sometimes I film 3 videos in advance and I'm super chilled about everything. It's a constant battle.
But it is nice to know that you're not perfect.
No, I'm not.
in the most positive way, in the most complimentary way, of course, because Nicole and I played a show together at Tolman. It was called Live on the Lake, and Nicole joined us, and we were on a floating stage, and it was really good fun. Well, at least really it was great fun for me. I don't really care about anybody else's opinion, but it was great. It was great fun for me. And she came and we had to play a song together, and I had done no preparation whatsoever. And Nicole knew all the words. She knew the song inside out. She knew everything. You had production suggestions. Max, your boyfriend, had suggestions. And I was standing there going, yeah, I don't know what these lyrics are. No idea. And yeah.
I mean, I'm quite an ambitious person. So when I know I've got like an upcoming show or I've got an event that I gotta play, I'm someone that will definitely make sure to be well prepared. But that doesn't mean that I know, okay, I'm playing a show in like 3 weeks and I'm gonna practice for it every single day. That's not the case. My brain works like it, okay, 3 days before a show, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start practicing for it now. But everyone is different and every brain works differently. And I think you just got to find your own way, how your brain works the best and how you can achieve the most and be the most productive in your own pace as well. Because for me, I like to be stressed a little bit because that makes me be my best. And other people hate stress. And I hate it too, but I need it a little bit to be good at what I'm doing.
How do you deal with stress? Like when I know you enjoy the stress and it gives you energy, and it's exactly the same for me. It gives me motivation, but sometimes for me it goes too far, and I end up in a position where I just do nothing because I'm like, I've got so much to do, and I choose to do nothing because I feel so messed up that if I was to do anything, it still wouldn't be enough. So why do anything? Just do nothing.
Yeah.
How do you deal with stress and emotion and mental health? How does that work for you?
I haven't figured that one out completely yet. I must admit, like sometimes I'm exactly there where I'm like, okay, so I need to do this, this, and this, and this. It all stresses me out. I'm just not going to do any of it. But I think in time, what I do, this is like has nothing to do with guitars, but I do yoga, for example. And I've been doing it for a while now, every single day. And that is, give the thinking mind a break is the mantra of this whole thing. And I really love that because even when I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a bit stressed, I need a break, because you can't work for hours and hours and hours and not take a break. So we go out for a walk, and sometimes we leave our phones at home just to, full on get into nature and calm down. And then because we're both self-employed, my boyfriend and I, we kind of at some point start talking about upcoming projects and what we want to work on when we get back home. And it's really difficult sometimes to just switch your brain off and be like, okay, I'm going to chill for a second, and then I'm going to get back into work, and then I'm going to try to be as productive as I can be. And I'm still learning that every single day, to take a break and be like, this is the break, this is working time, this is the break, this is the working time. And it's difficult. I haven't figured that one out yet. And I'm stressed, and then I'm glad when it's over, and then I'm stressed again. I don't know how to deal with stress. You just get through it kind of, and try to find peace in nature, in working out, in cooking, baking, whatever, and then get back with fresh energy. I think that helps.
Interesting. It's nice to hear that you haven't figured it out, because I think if you ever did figure it out, then your brain and your mind would change anyway, so you'd need to find a new way. Super interesting, because, again, if someone's watching this thinking, oh my God, they're so lucky to do what they do, and here they are complaining, there is the side of it where it is work, it is... What am I trying to say, Nicole?
Well, you know what? I never really talk about these topics because of that, because people, especially people on the internet, I'm really sorry, but especially people on the internet just love to complain about what you're complaining about. So if you're like, oh, I had a really tough day, I had to film so many videos, I had to write a song for this and that, and they're like, you're so lucky. I had to work in like a supermarket for 10 hours, and who are you to complain? And I get that, and I know that there are so many more jobs out there that are so much like more nerve-wracking and stressful and whatever, but let me complain. Like, I still want to get that out, and then that's okay. It's still a job, and people don't see that because they're like, oh, that's music. You love what you're doing, and you can do what you love, and that's great, and I'm really thankful for that. But sometimes it's still tough, and it's still a lot of work, and it's still, you know, a lot for your mental health, and sometimes it's just a lot. You know, if you're playing the guitar all the time, it's physical pain too sometimes, you know. It can be a lot, and I'm not complaining, I'm just trying to get that off my mind. But that's why I don't talk about these topics.
I totally agree, and I feel your pain. However, hearing another person say it does sound ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes I hear people complaining about their job as an influencer, and I'm like, that's a great job that you have, and be thankful for it.
Absolutely.
But, you know, that doesn't mean that these people aren't thankful for what they do, and they're just stressed and they want to get that off their chest. Yeah, no.
You're welcome, Nicole, for having this platform on which to unload. And
Thank you very much. Oh, there's the sun. See? Got that off my chest and the sun's coming out. Yeah.
I had somewhere really interesting to go next for this conversation, then I lost it because you made me laugh.
Because of me,
so,
sorry.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm incredibly thankful for what I'm doing, and that I get to do this, and that I get to be stressed, and get to, you know, stress only also shows, especially if you're doing it to yourself, because I often stress myself out because I think that I need to do certain things that I might not have to do. So, you know, that just means that you're really passionate about something, and that you're ambitious to make things work, but just don't let that take over all the positive things that come with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks. I made the mistake of listening to you instead of thinking. That's the interviewer's worst nightmare. So you were talking earlier about multi-stream income. So getting money from gigs, getting money from YouTube videos, getting money from, I guess, selling music. There must be a small amount coming from that. What's in the future for you? Like, the world is, we're currently filming this in May of 2020, which is when the COVID-19 lockdown is in process, and the world is terrible, and everything's terrible, and we're all miserable. And what ways have you done to protect yourself against that? So you're having no gigs at the moment. Have you changed your lifestyle, or have you done more work?
Both. I think in the beginning, where I was like very scared of what was going on, and it came very quickly and suddenly, and everything just got locked down, and it was pretty scary for me, and I found comfort in just throwing myself into work and keeping myself busy with all sorts of stuff, and then just feeling very exhausted mentally and physically because I wasn't really taking care of the mental health side of things, because this time that we live in right now is very stressful, even if it's just subconsciously, and you think you're fine with everything that's going on, but especially as a musician, I'm fine right now with how everything is, and I'm very thankful for the internet, but of course I do think about how long is this going to last? How long am I gonna be able to pay for my rent and my bills and everything with this whole situation going on? And that can be really, really tough sometimes. So you gotta find that balance again of being like, okay, I don't have to work constantly. I don't have to be productive. It's also okay to take a break and be like, wow, I'm so mentally exhausted today because this is all a bit much for my brain to understand, to take a break and be like, I'm just gonna do, oh, again, this camera, it kills me. Oh, why does it only ever record like 25 minutes? You know, it's okay to take a break and do nothing. And I think that's very important too. And I've learned that during this whole lockdown situation, from starting off with throwing myself into work, keeping myself busy all the time, and now finding the balance of it's still okay to take breaks. I think that's important.
Totally agree. All right, so this is 2020, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
What's 2021, Nicole, going to be doing? What's on that? Because you've kept your videos with this low budget, sort of approachable, easy to watch videos. Mm-hmm. What's 2021 going to be like for you, if everything goes to plan?
So I'm really bad at releasing music on Spotify and all these platforms. So I do upload videos onto my YouTube regularly, but I don't really release like proper music. Again, that word proper, you know. Acoustic music is also music, but you know, with like a full-on production. And I've done a lot of writing in the last couple of years, and I never released anything. And I think that helped me to grow as a musician and kind of find what music I really want to do. But I also think it's time to get that music out there, because again, as long as you work on stuff and you work on it for years and then you don't put it out and it doesn't feel like you've worked. So I really want to get that out, and I want people to hear it, and that's definitely a plan that I have for 2020, and maybe I'm still gonna do it this year. But if not this year, then definitely next year. And yeah, that's what I want to do. Really get more original songs out there and make, you know, my own thoughts accessible for whoever wants to listen to it.
Beautiful. It's a lovely way of putting that all under one umbrella. There's one thing that we've missed majorly, something that I wanted to talk to you about, because sadly we've got into a conversation rather than an interview, which is terrible because it means we're authentic and real, and this has just gone out of the window. So back to business. The one thing I want to get from you, apart from the fact that you are, you know, doing all this and having a good time generally and doing well, is that you do release YouTube covers.
Yeah.
And there may be some people watching this thinking, okay, I'm thinking about doing YouTube covers, or I'm doing them at the moment, I'd like to monetize it. What's your advice? What's the business side of, say, monetizing a cover?
So YouTube's kind of changing it around right now, and I haven't really figured out how it's working at the moment. But normally you upload a video and you can't monetize it, because obviously, like, if you post a cover version, you can't monetize it because you don't have the rights to do so. But the label can claim it and say, okay, this is our content that you are using, and they monetize it, and then you can say, okay, but I've created the cover and you wouldn't be making money if it wasn't for me. So you get a percentage of that money that you make with that video. And it isn't a lot, but it's still cool, because if covers is what you mainly do on your channel, then that's still a way to make an income, as little as it might be, because it really isn't that much. But, you know, better than not earning any money from it at all.
And is that an automatic process? So say you release a cover today, and you monetize the video, and you click monetize, and you do everything. It says, yes, monetized. What happens then? So I think that right now YouTube's working on that you can monetize it straight ahead and be like, okay, this is a cover version, and so you can monetize it. Because in the past it has been that way, that if the video doesn't get claimed, you don't earn any money from it at all. And I think that now that has changed. Is that what you meant by that question, or where you what I mean is that when you upload a video to YouTube now, any video, you can click monetize or not.
Yeah.
Once you've gained the right on your channel to monetize videos, first you have to do that. And it says, yes, you can monetize videos now. So you put a video online, you click monetize. I want to show ads on this video, which is how YouTube generates money. And then if it's a cover and the record label or whoever claims that music,
yeah,
and then you only get a percentage of the piece of the pie, is that process all automatic, or do you have to do anything once they claim it?
It's not automatic. You have to, so your video gets claimed and then you get, oh, your video was claimed, blah 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 blah, and then you have to click on yes, I want to like get paid for, get that percentage of the money that is raised with that video.
I did not know that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's how it works. Or else they will just run ads before the video, and people will think that you monetize the video, but in reality, it's the record label that claimed the video and runs ads before it, and you don't make any money as long as you don't click, hello, I want to get a percentage of that.
I mean, it's even though that seems very unfair, and lots of people have problems with that, it is fair because the songwriter deserves to earn some money for writing that song.
Absolutely. Yes.
The sad side is that it goes to the record label, then all trickles down to the songwriter eventually, I guess. But a lot of people I say a lot of people, I've come across people who are angry that YouTube demonetizes their video and takes the claim. But as a musician, particularly, it's the way the world has to be. Otherwise, songwriters will really not earn any money. And as a performer, you are losing money on that, or not earning as much as you could. But the money's going back to the songwriter, the artist. Yeah. So, one has to support that from the artist's point of view. A trick that I learned only recently, in the past couple of months, is because I do gear demos and things, and I sometimes do produced songs and me jumping around, playing a fuzz pedal and having fun. When I make another video that's totally unrelated, such as this one, sometimes I need a little bit of music, a little bed of music under my talking. If I release that piece of music on Spotify or whatever, I put it onto DistroKid and release it, it's then in YouTube's books and they say, okay, Andy Ferris wrote that, it's his copyright. If I put it in my own YouTube video, I then earn money from it. So there's a little tip for you. Yeah.
That's how it works.
And if Nicole does a cover of my silly jumping around fuzz pedal demo, then I get her money.
Yep.
Woo! Nicole, I've got an idea for you. Do you own a fuzz pedal? Awesome. Well, I guess I'd like to round this off, if I may, by asking, what are your tips for someone who's watching this thinking, wow, that looks cool, I'm trying to do this, or I'm thinking of doing it. What would your main advice be for those people?
I would definitely say only do it if you really are passionate about it, because I know that there have been people in the past couple of years, especially as YouTube has changed. And, when I started YouTube, there was no way of making money from YouTube. Like, that just wasn't a thing. So people back then did it really just to show what they've got, but nowadays I think it is so important to really love what you do and really be passionate about it, because it isn't as easy as it looks. And I know there are so many people out there who think that a 3-minute video takes you 3 minutes to film and upload and share and promote and do all of the things that come with releasing a video. But if you think, wow, that's really something I want to do, and it's a great way to share my music with the world, do it. It's the best thing you can do, because you're gonna grow not just your channel but also as a human being. It's gonna teach you a lot of things, and it's really rewarding, and getting to do it is the best thing. So just make sure you're really passionate about it. I think that's very important.
Thanks. I've got neck ache from nodding for everything you say. My final question from that would be, was there anything to look out for? Like any don't do this, or anything that you've done maybe that you kind of made a mistake, and in that sort of sense, that sort of tip?
I had a time in my life where I stopped making YouTube videos because I got very frustrated with people that I was working with at that time, and they kind of made me hate music for a quick second, and I stopped doing it. And that was exactly the time where YouTube just skyrocketed through the roof and was like, everyone loved it, and I stopped doing it. I had a very vital channel and it was incredible. And I stopped doing it and my reach just went down. And it took me a very long time to get back to where I am right now, which still isn't by any means what I used to have back then, but that's probably never going to happen anyway, but that's okay. But I love doing it again, and that's the main point. All I can say is do it regularly, regular uploads. That's what the algorithm loves. And yeah, be creative. Do things that other people don't do the way that you do it. And that doesn't mean that you have to, I don't know, come up with a viral idea or do whatever. But for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to sit down with my guitar and I'm just going to play it. And I don't really care what other people think, because that's what I like to do. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I think that be my tip. Don't stop. Never stop.
Never stop stopping.
Never stop stopping.
Nicole, Nikki, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And I know that there are going to be...
Thank you so much.
Thank you. There's be people watching this who will be better off for having watched it. So thanks for sharing that with the people of my channel. And
thank you. Sorry for complaining. I'm really thankful.
Yeah, we'll do a video on your channel where I get to complain about my terrible life.
No, it's not terrible. It's great. You know, every job has its advantages and disadvantages. It's
a pleasure talking to you. I know that's a very interviewy thing to say, but yeah, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. That was a lot of fun.
Good. Well, where do we find you? There'll already be links underneath this video, of course, but in your words, how do we find Nicole Milik?
You can just type it in wherever you are on whatever platform and you will find me.
Man, you're super lazy. I like it.
I mean, I'm just gonna, okay. I'm really bad at self-promoting, basically. But yeah, Nicole Milik is my name. You can check it out. YouTube, it's Nicole Milik Music. On Instagram, it's a dot in between Nicole and Milik. You know, but whatever you type in, you're going to find me eventually, I'm pretty sure.
Cool. Final question, what's the favourite song you've ever covered? What comes there? What comes there right now? Doesn't have to be the ultimate favourite, but just in this moment, what one are you most impressed by?
Icy Fire by Ed Sheeran.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know why I picked that one. I just really enjoyed doing that at that time. And it's got like really trashy flames coming up in the chorus. Whenever I sing the chorus, there are like flames coming up. It's so trashy. I don't know why I did that, but...
I'd forgotten about that. But that's the video I'm going to link to on the end of this
card. Oh no, don't do it.
So when you go and see Nicole, then that's the video. You're going to get flames and all sorts of stuff.
No. It's not my best one, but it was a fun one.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you guys for watching this. There's a little bit more on the end of this video before you go away, so don't click away just yet. I'm looking at the wrong camera. There's a... See, this is what happens when you chat with a friend. You lose all professionalism. But I will see you in another video. But don't go away just yet, because there's a little bit more from the other Andy coming to you right now. Cheers, Nicole.
Bye.
Once again, a massive thanks to Nicole for her time, her expertise, and her secrets. And if you're a musician who's thinking of uploading covers to YouTube or something like that, then I hope that your fears and lack of knowledge have now been quashed. But before you go grab your guitar and make some beautiful content, there are some other videos in this series right over there that you might benefit from. So go and check those out, and I will see you there. Thanks for watching.